You're not getting it.
You know what those people are called, though? They're called Uncle Toms in the media by other black leaders like Reverend Al and Jesse Jackson. If anybody, you get a black Republican, and they show him on the news speaking, and of course he's an Uncle Tom. He's fucking kowtowing to the man, all that bullshit, because the black community doesn't want to see that. They doesn't want to be this. There doesn't want to be this uniting with the rest of the country. There is such a separatism between whites and blacks as they try to make it seem with commercials and TV shows that we're all hanging out at barbecues together and having a great old time. And meanwhile, it's such separatism. But again, that can't be spoken about, and it can't really be shown.
Wait, you and your Asian and black friend don't reach in and fight for the last glass of Sunny Delight?
No.
That's how it is in my home. And then when we don't have it, the ethnic kids beat my mother over the head with the toaster. So where's the Sunny D, bitch?
Yes, DJ. Wrap up, please.
Okay, just quickly. When you talk about, you might be called an Uncle Tom or whatever, that's a very easy argument to dispel, because I'm just quick to say, wait a minute. You're saying that Snoop Dogg or a Crip or any of these other black folks, that their imagery, their minstrel type imagery doesn't come off as a Uncle Tom image. I'm the Uncle Tom because or Dr. Cosby, who brought up some of this stuff. He's the Uncle Tom, but the people who actually are responsible for the behavior, they get a pass. I even gave Imus a pass. You can't talk about Imus doing his thing for whatever he did when he talked about the Rutgers players.
Yeah.
But then give Snoop Dogg and his crew a 20-year pass for what they said about black women. See,
well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. That's part of the argument, too.
To say that.
I understand. Like, don't get me wrong, DJ. I understand your side of this argument. I really do. But it just comes back again to what I initially was talking about with crime. I have no problem if people want to walk down the street with their ass hanging out. They brought that up. It's like, all right, you do, but you take up that cause. You do that. My issue is fucking rampant crime in the black community. It's beyond me. I don't know why people don't talk about it more, why people don't talk about how racially based it is, where it comes from. I don't want to hear social fucking ills that cause it. I just want a solution.
All I have to say is to stop selling us failure. Some of it would diminish. It doesn't help that you see the rap music buries it in the ground. The media buries it in the ground. You're talking about failure being sold to you.
So there's no concept when that's sold to somebody. It completely negates. I said negate. It completely negates the right and wrong in your mind. Like not you. I'm saying in a criminal's mind. It just that shit goes out the window.
No. Listen, I agree with you that I'm not going to try to make excuses for the disproportionate crime and what's going on. I will say this. I say that it afflicts people of color more so than white folks, because I think you would see more of this stuff going on, more of an outcry if whites were afflicted by it more. Well, you make it seem as if you personally are being afflicted by this stuff. I'm the guy.
I have to. You know something? Let me tell you something.
By it.
I'm affected and afflicted by this through other, not the same way you are, but in other ways I am. They're a financial burden. I have friends that are police officers that, you're constantly worrying about problems.
Listen, I have friends that are cops too, and they tell me the same thing. It is an issue. It is a disproportionate problem. You're talking about a segment of the black community. You're not talking about the black community in its entirety.
No, and I'm talking about a disproportionately large number based on population. It just doesn't figure.
Again, some of this might diminish if you stop selling that image. Right now, you're talking about an image that just keeps on.
Who's selling it? Who's selling it?
Infrastructure is selling it. There's no way to get around that. They're selling you the pants that are slung below your waist. They're selling you the music that keeps... The music has no positivity in it whatsoever. I've never seen it in my life like this. You go to the 70s, 60s, the music never talked about openly killing people, selling drugs. It wasn't doing it. What do you think that you're talking? It's called programming. You have programmers. Mm-hmm. Programming means what it means. You know about what happened in Germany. You're talking about a
sure do.
Media assault that is essentially tantamount to programming, propaganda. Propaganda makes people their minds go.
Well, this is sounding a little conspiracy based. I mean, it's sounding.
Listen, I'm not like you guys from yesterday.
No, I understand, but is this white people trying to put an image forth that will perpetuate crime in the black community? Is that it? How about people get together in these shitty neighborhoods and somehow try to build something positive there? Because the second someone tries, they're either killed or the place is fucking ransacked, or empowerment, self-empowerment in a neighborhood, not having like Harlem. They got people were up in arms that white businesses were coming in, buying up these landmarks in Harlem, building them, making them beautiful, and Harlem is undergoing a renaissance period. But how about black people get in there and fucking do it, and then have something to be proud of and not destroy and shit like that? How about that?
One thing, the guy you had on yesterday, Alex Jones. Although I couldn't handle him because he made me not want to leave the house after this guy. He used a term called learned helplessness. You guys need to look this up and see what learned helplessness means. Learned helplessness has a lot to do with what you're talking about. Literally, it defines itself. You're teaching people to fail. If you don't see any positive imagery, and you're talking about, again, a propagandized paradigm, what do you think is going to happen? White folks are able to see positive and negative. The entire spectrum is in their face. And our face is failure.
Well, how about keeping how about keeping a family together? How about not knocking up like 12 different women? How about like looking inside your community and realizing there are huge problems that are perpetuating this generation after generation, and not just music and stuff. It's a lifestyle that I seriously would hope people are intelligent enough to realize this is the problem, this is the root cause of it, let's fix it.
Well, Anthony, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In 1950, black and white families, as far as having a dual family structure, mm-hmm. were on par with each other.
Uh-huh.
Something happened between, let's say, 1963, 64 to the present, where these numbers...
Civil rights movement? Yeah.
Okay, now, there's something there. It wasn't always like this. You didn't always see this, even when we were going through hell, going through segregation, all these kind of things. But again, you're acting as if this is something that's always happened. You had even with all the crap we had to deal with, you still had two-family homes. You had a father in the house. You had a lot of positivity going on. Something mm-hmm. has gone on now. This is why I get into a political thing, where I think a lot of it has to do with being a democratic and that liberal mindset, and this whole thing, as I mentioned, learned helplessness. The government, as much as I like Obama image-wise, I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but I mm-hmm. thought that we needed to see him there, because again, you had 43 presidents that were white.
I think
44 presidents and 44th. Now there's a problem.
I think a lot had to do with welfare and this just keeping this whole weakness and welfare state going, and I think that had a big problem with it. Yeah, I think we got to take a break.
Hey, DJ, where can people hear you again? Because you give your internet radio show plug. You do obviously price some pretty radio.
Do a good job.
Yeah, it's AfroNerdRadio.com.
Oh, Afro Nerd, N-E-R-D?
Afro Nerd.
N-E-R-D. Hey, listen, you chuckle on that. Listen, some of us would rather be called another N-word. I chose the nerd word.
That's cool.
That's all right.
Well, thanks for the call,
Nerd
man.
Radio. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot, DJ.
DJ in Queens. We'll take a break. A lot of people want in on this discussion.
Nothing lights the phones faster than race. It's amazing.
I know.
Holy
Because when you can
mackerel.
speak openly and honest about it, in an open forum like this, people will respond.
You want
It's
Al
amazing.
real fast?
Yeah, might as well.
Al.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Listen,
What's up, Al?
I'm gonna be real quick. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a black male. I'm from Haitian descent. I could have easily been a banger. I could have easily did this shit. But you know what? My mindset was gauged a different way. Now, when you generalize about the ghetto blacks, there's so many ghetto blacks that don't know the taste of real life. That's why they're running around, blowing each other up, knocking their girls up, and not paying any, child support and doing all this crazy shit. But in the reality of things, just take a moment in your life and realize who you are, and it's like self-worth. Knowing who you are and knowing what you can do and just going out and doing it.
It's hard to imagine. I'm just going to the basic human